I'm in Oro Valley, Arizona. Sergeant De Leon, retired 2014, Army. And I'm out here giving my dog some exercise. I bring my wheelchair, that you can see here, put some bigger tires on it, and I'm ready to rock and roll. Um, Bring him out here for about an hour or more to get some exercise. Um, and today is the day of the Lord. That's right, it's Sunday. It's a day of reflection. I don't bother and waste my time explaining to people that don't believe in the Lord because I ain't got no reason to. I don't care. Um, you know, I'm not Jesus Christ, so I don't. I'm not. My job is to take care of everybody. To take care of myself. So if you don't believe, well, then too damn bad. Oops, sorry, I shouldn't be. No swearing on Sundays. That's one of my rules. So I'm out here Sunday with dogs. This is Teddy T and the 10 Mini 10 out right there. And then I got Bully Bull somewhere. There she is, right over there. Bully Bull and the Bulls. Her name is Bullet, Bulleit. And Taz is Tazz. I call her Tazzy T and the Tasmanian Teminot because she has pointy ears and she ain't all together. Well, she's a Tasmanite. Um, but I get on these websites and I advocate for myself as a veteran, and maybe I'll be doing some good for other veterans. Uh, I have been battling the Veterans Health Administration, Veterans Health Affairs, what have you, the entirety of it, and I have not had any progress with doing that. Um, I was injured overseas, 2009, 2010, October and November, Thanksgiving Day. Two head injuries, one back injury, one arm injury, right hand injury, and some other minor stuff. All combat related. Back injury was so severe that it overshadowed anything that I needed to evaluate as far as a head injury. Um, One of the head injuries I did receive, I did black out for a few moments. I don't exactly know how long that was, but it wasn't good. I'll tell you that. Um, and so, to reflect on it, it's Sunday. It's the day of the Lord. I always pray to the Lord to help me out. I tell you, hey Lord, give me the strength I need to be smart, to have persistence, to educate others and myself as I move forward to try to get this situation under control. It is out of control right now. And I like to advocate, I like to get other people to help me. So if you guys want to be a part of something good, something honorable, something true, something well worth fighting for, something that it has a moral to it, and some justification, something that is out of your hands, but in helping me, you're helping every other veteran. And if you want to think about it this way, you could think about that you're helping the person who's helping our country, right? And so what can you do to help me? Well, if you find interest in my situation, as I said, I gave you the skinny information. I was injured 2010, 9/10, Iraq. Had two injuries, head injuries, one back injury, and multiple other little ones. They're all combat related. These injuries overall, these injuries that I have sustained overseas, when you're as tough as I am, um, you press on, you move on. It's nothing that I couldn't handle. Uh, and as a soldier, you have to kill me to for me to keep moving on with the mission first, and that was my whole duty. So having a inconspicuous, should I say, inconspicuous head injury, two of them, they hurt. Yeah, they hurt. One of them I threw up, the other one I blacked out for a moment. Plural. And the back injury was so bad that I had to go to the gym uh, when I get to any base and across Iraq, and I would try to stretch my back out. It would get locked up. I would think, well, it's got to be a sciatic nerve, the most common injury most people get, or it affects. You stretch it out, something's matter with that. So not a big deal, you know. I also, if you've ever been in the service, if you've done time in the service, uh, and you've been overseas, you've done your duty, you know that injuries are something that you want to self-evaluate most of the time, because it will get rid of the duty that you're on. If you have a job in the military and you can't meet that obligation anymore, those standards to that job, then they'll replace you. Okay. So keeping my job was very important. It's not an excuse for not reporting it. I did report a little bit, a poor, not as serious as I should have, but again, my mission was more important. I completed my duty, my full year over in Iraq, and came back stateside to just want to really get home. Uh, being away and being in a situation, or a hazardous situation, you just want to get home to a safe area. You want to get some familiarity, that sort of thing. That is also not an excuse I'm coming up with. What it is I was tired of everything. I just wanted to be alone, get to a place where I could, gather myself, and that was being home. So injury or not injury, that's where I wanted to be, and I did. I made it happen. But it caused a lot of complications with record keeping, medical stuff. So as I'm retired now, I retired in 2014. It's been one heck of a struggle trying to get all my ducks in order, and um, um, I am obviously, since I've been having trouble for years trying to get a diagnosis for a traumatic brain injury. It's been frustrating because number one, it's been obvious about what I have. Motor dysfunction, movements, all sorts of signs and symptoms of a TBI. But yet, when you get out of the military and you're trying to claim something, immediately, I jump to my own defense, and I have seen, I have experienced a lot of and a lot of doctors for our gatekeepers, that I have found no more trust with, and that's inside and outside the VA. That have been very disrespectful, have been very um, disrespectful. They have been uh, um, dismissive, and I haven't been able to get anywhere with the narrative, which is, I'm a fraud somehow, even though, even though they see my physical description of what I'm claiming. So, with that being said, the VA, it's not, people say it's complicated. It really isn't that complicated. It's not complicated. What it is it's got the VA has its own culture. It's a government run organization. It's humongous, and it runs primarily, all of it is on policy, procedure, and um, that right there alone with policy procedure from the VA is just about impossible to get around. Um, if if it if your situation turns into a negative situation with the government, then that thing turns into a can, like a can, a soda can, and they kick that can down the road until it's no more. Okay. And every gatekeeper, that's the doctors I've been talking about, if one of them say no and disagree with what you're trying to claim, as me, I'm trying to claim the TBI, which is the most obvious condition that I had experienced overseas, and yet they are not willing to apply their own policies and procedures to evaluate me properly or give me the diagnosis with the benefit of the doubt clause, which is part of the VA policy SOP standards. So here I am struggling. I'm getting worse, physically, mentally, and I've been advocating for myself for people uh, to help me uh, do simple stuff. And here's one of the things you can do if you're willing to help me out. Juan Costamani, he's in District 6, I believe. Um, he's my congressperson in Oro Valley, Arizona. Um, if you can't get a hold of that person, Kirsten Cinema, she has been a failure. I've reached out to her also, and nothing has gone through. Um, you can contact her, and Juan is his name, Costamani, and you can give him an email. You can get on his website, give him a call, and say, hey, there's a soldier that needs help. It's my duty. If you feel it's your duty to help a veteran, well, then I appreciate that much. Um, and it'll go a long way for me. And so I'm trying to receive the benefits, the medical management that I should be receiving in the departments at the VA. Usually things are run in departmental in the VA. So if I need wheelchairs, I'm supposed to be, if I'm a part of the spinal cord brain injury department, whatever that may be, I get to use their benefits as far as requesting things that I need specifically for TBI, like wheelchairs, electronic stuff. Since I have motor movement dysfunction, I need things that are automatic, right? Things like drawers, uh, toilets that self flush, and all the things that we take for granted. I need those things. I can't get in those departments because I'm being denied traumatic brain injury, in which most of you guys who would meet me and see me, if you would see it and explain it, you would know exactly that I am being medically neglected through the VA for a cause of claiming for myself a TBI, and they refused to do it. So I'm trying to go down the road, and everything just takes forever. Everything takes too long to get done. By the time something becomes uh, um, uh, um, dealt with, by the time we start trying to resolve something, I could be dead with a stroke. I'm highly susceptible to strokes. You name it, anything. The COVID would have been really bad for me, and so that's something that I avoided. I'm always home, so there's a lot of stuff going on with VA that I'd like to get into, but I think I will discuss that some other time. I've been really itching to talk about more political stuff and get into some entertainment. It's the best show in town. If you guys aren't into politics, you should get into some politics. It's an eye-opening experience, let me tell you. Um, it'll give you all the entertainment you need. You know, the drama is just endless. So, I think you guys, if you want to reach out, that's Juan Costamani. He's my congressperson. I believe it's District 6 now. I could be wrong, but it's Oro Valley, Arizona. If you can't get a hold of him, get a hold of Kirsten Cinema and ask for Juan Costamani. My name is Marco De Leon, Sergeant retired 2014, claiming the TBI. If you want to reach out an email or what have you, please do. It will help me, pardon me, and it will definitely maybe it will make you feel better that you're helping somebody who has done good for the country, our country. So if you want to do that, I greatly appreciate it. I can't twist your arm to do it, but it would definitely help me do that. So I'll switch tables here a little bit. um I'm out here Ore Valley in the back of my home. This isn't my property, but I come out here. It's a land that's in the back of our home. I got Tassie T and the Tasmanian Tamanots, bully bulls running around. I get them some exercise out here, and I make sure they run and get some of that energy out. They just bother us all day. They want to run. They got so much energy. They want to get running and having doing what dogs do. But um, I get as far as me advocating for myself. Um, I get completely frustrated with everyday stuff. I can't help it. I have been diagnosed with an anxiety disorder. I can feel the anxiety disorder. I don't know if I hear people say, a lot of people throughout the day, my anxiety, and it's all sorts of situations. I even hear it at the stores, people, oh, my anxiety, and people over talking on the phone, my anxiety. The anxiety is the word of the day or the word of the century. Everybody has anxiety now. And I guess that's a common everyday thing that people deal with, but I have a anxiety disorder is what I have. Okay, I think that's a little more elevated than your actual anxiety issues that you have every single day. Um, I think as a veteran, if you guys are willing to listen, my experience with it, and I believe I could speak for a whole lot of veterans, but I can't recall. Um, I can't recall myself before I left to my tour in Iraq 2009 and 10. When I came back, um, considering that I had two head injuries, back injury, and then just experience with being overseas and then being diagnosed with the anxiety disorder, and then with the TBI I have, it's gotten a lot worse. I have short-term memory. I got mental issues that are very difficult to explain. But all that together, bundled up with a bow, I cannot recall my personality. Um, I know that's a little difficult to understand, but I suppose what I mean by that is before I left to Iraq, I was a certain type of person. I cannot recall any of those. I don't know if you want to say feelings. What makes up a person so you can recall, how you were, or your feelings and your experiences. I feel like I have no experience. And I believe that's the head injuries that I have sustained, plus the experience I just have with, some post traumatic stuff, and the anxiety disorder. And um, going overseas, I was already somewhat mature. I was in my 30s, and I already had some experience with all sorts of things, death, and you know, um, I've been around the block a few times, but there's nothing like a good old a good old you know uh, uh, um, complete makeover. When you go to war, that's what it is. But I think overall, all of it together, I can't. There's a lot of mental things that I am not very comfortable with when it comes to today at hand. Well, what am I worried about? Well, I'm worried about myself. I'm not secure with myself. Um, I feel as though at any moment I feel I can go get out of control. That I could lose my ability to be here and now. That's how I feel, or that's just what's going on. And so with the mental stuff, with the brain injuries, I think that did not do me well at all either. So, when I've been complaining to my senators and my Congress people, that's what I bring up. I say, hey, look, I have some mental issues that I think I need to address with you guys, and I'm just letting you know, and so in case you see me out in the middle of the street shooting up some cars and stuff, don't take me literally for that, but somebody can recall, hey, he's been calling the police, or he's been calling his senators telling him he needs help, he has mental issues. And let me tell you guys, all right, let me give you guys a reality of stuff that goes on when veterans go to the VA or any outside the VA to get some assistance, when they get some help through the VA. That is not a cure. All right, what it is it's a management. It puts us in a state of management. Okay. Those that have less trauma, um, much easier to get some sort of solution for them to repetition. But when you have some higher trauma, when you have injuries, that sort of thing, there's no cure for you. It's just management. Okay, it's pure management. And uh, and most of the time veterans are very honest about themselves. Like myself, I just, hey, I got mental issues. I'm not afraid of them because they bother me more than I'm willing to hide them. I'm sort of like warning people, hey, look, I have issues. I don't know, how they're going to manifest themselves, but I'd be real careful with me. you know and it's not a warning like, hey, I'm going to kick your butt and I can kick. It's not like that at all. So it's an interesting situation that I'm in. I had, the injuries I have, it's a very unique injury. I diagnosed myself. I've been doing this for a few months, intensely. I've been online. I've been researching brain injuries. I've been researching brain chemical uh, um, composition in the brain. I've been researching stomach issues, and just the body, but mainly brain issue and chemical reaction. And because I want to self-diagnose myself, since I don't have a doctor willing to do it. I don't have a doctor, people, willing to give me a diagnosis. Take the time, people. They don't want to take the time. Since 2000, I say 11ish, I got back home in 2010, but 2011ish, I haven't had one single gatekeeper, not one doctor who is willing to give me the time and find my case, my condition so interesting that he wants to do research on me. He's like, man, I'm a doctor and that's what I do. Your case is rare. And so I've been studying myself and brain issues, and um, I come up with the diagnosis. I can't think of the words. Um, I completed my after months of, I'd say up to a year, going back and forth with learning what, how the brain works. Um, I finally finalized, brain, what my diagnosis is. And it's very, I can tell you right now, it's very similar to MS. It's an injury and it mimics an MS. Um, and There are some extremely long words that I cannot recall, that it is, but it what it does is basically like an MS, where an MS, the cells fight each other. The autoimmune system eats the cells, and you get MS. With my situation, it's similar, but um, the cells, they don't produce. So they don't produce the function because it's injured. So when another cell can't get that production from each other, then the proliferation, they say, doesn't happen. So it's not able to function properly. It doesn't necessarily kill itself, but it's just not working properly. It doesn't get the chemicals to activate itself. So uh, that's why it's called the central nervous system dysfunction. And so it stems from, it's like ataxia, they call it ATAXIA or something. Dystonia, I'm not sure if that's the right word, but um, it's within that crescent of diagnosis that there are. It's like the myelin sheath of the neuron axils. Those are it's no good. So I have, and the only way you get them is you're either born with it, and then there's historical records for you and your family, or you can have an injury. I have an injury, and that's what I am so frustrated with these doctors. They know what it is, people. They know it, but they will not give me a diagnosis for it. I don't understand why. So we will come to fruition with it at some point here. But um, in the meantime, I just gotta live with what's given to me now. Thank the Lord. The Lord has a plan for me. This is who I am now. This is what I do. And if it's limited, then it's limited. That's what it is. I'm gonna do the best I can with it, and move on. Um, Part of my anxiety disorder is I can't exactly let go of some things. All right, um, like for instance, stuff that's happening now. When other people get frustrated and things hurt other people, I have an issue with that. For instance, if people are being hurt and it's a wrongdoing, like simple stuff like the transgender situation that's happening across America and probably all over the world. Um, and these men are able to go into women's locker rooms and private, how can I say it, they're assigned sexual, or not sexual, but assigned gender, um and I, it's so, excuse me, it's so simple that I can't let it go. Excuse me, it frustrates me to a point that I literally think about bad things. So, um, It's the most absurd, simplistic, fundamental stupidity that people allow to talk about. Being a transgender and being allowed to be in the other our opposite genders privacy, and it's privacy for a reason, people, isn't it? We separate genders for a reason. We don't not separate, and we all come together and take showers together and things because things happen. It's a natural occurrence between people, and when if we were not to separate each other, we would have so many problems. I mean, we that's something that we shouldn't even have to discuss. It's a given action, right? It's a moral action, and to allow somebody to mask themselves and say, "You guys are going to accept that I'm A, B, and C, a transgender, and I'm gonna be able to go into your locker room because I'm gonna bitch about it." And what's amazing is that other people listen to that. They abide by it. And that's frustrating. It's those people who are listening who are doing everyone else a disservice. Don't you think? Right? So, would you rather have everybody on the same page and say no, or would you want to be this freestyle, free living person who thinks that everybody should do everything no matter how bad it is, and everybody should accept it, and be all free willy, and no police, and let's police ourselves, and let's let men go into women's bathrooms and vice versa. Let's let kids change their sex, whatever. Let's not be aggressive country and let everybody else run all over us, and take advantage of our society by by trying to harm another country's people, and in lots of ways. I mean, what kind of what what happened, right? Who turned off the lights, right? Who let the dogs out? I mean, somebody did, and I blame ourselves. We should be blaming ourselves for this crap, because I remember at one time there was no way, and it wasn't long ago, there was no way that you can get a transgender person into a female's bathroom and be okay with it. And the reason I say it's okay is because they can go in, and the police will come over if you call police on them, and they'll say, well, there's nothing we can do about it. Or if there is, it's going to be a slap on the hand. And that is completely upside down from where we most of us have come from, right? It's completely upside down. Why we put up with it is a mystery. Is everybody a bunch of little pussycats now? I'm a man. If I saw anybody, if I see anybody walking into a woman's bathroom, um, um, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm having a brain thing. Um, Saying that they are a female and they're allowed to go in there due to policies and regulations and things like that, I would absolutely flip. I would get physical. as much as I can that I can't, I would get physical and say, no way you're going in that bathroom over my dead body. I will kick your butt. I want to say the other word, but I can't. Today is the day of the Lord. I will kick your behind. You are not going into that bathroom. And if you do, you're going to have to deal with me. That's what I would do, people, for anybody. What happened to us? We don't do that anymore. I shouldn't have to explain that to somebody. Hey, I'm stopping that person from going in. And if you support that, you're also going to get a licking. You're also going to get a talking to. And I'll have it out with anybody, anytime, any day. All right? You want to start something? Let's get it on. I'm not afraid to. That's just my game. All right? If you want to complain about being aggressive, you haven't seen the beginning of being aggressive. So somebody let the dogs out and we need to put it back in. Okay? All right. Instead, I'm dealing with, a medical condition that doctors, our gatekeepers, are afraid to deal with. We have people who are men, but they're women, but they're men. You keep that stuff to yourself. I don't want to know about it. I don't care to know about it. Okay, don't cross that over into my everyday living. Okay, I don't want to know about it. Okay, that's the way it should be in the service. Also, we got rid of they got rid of the military got rid of don't ask, don't tell. Why? For what? That was the most fundamental thing you can do for everybody, even them, even the ones that want to be gay and transgender, gentle, gender, and all that. Why would you want somebody else to know so you can feel like you overpower them? Like you're telling them you're going to like it and you're going to like it now. That's what you're doing. I don't push my agendas on anybody. Okay. Our duty, people, our duties are supposed to be simple. They're supposed to be easy. They're supposed to be a helping hand. Right. When you put a person in a situation like a transgender, you get other people mad. And that's the whole point is why do you, why are you trying to force me to like you dressed as a clown? Well, they don't want you to see it that way. They want you to see it as a normal thing. It's not normal. It is not normal. Okay. Are we confused? I'm not confused. I'm a man. And like I said, I'll stop any man, woman, whatever going into a woman's. But if somebody was dressed up and you couldn't see their gender, I would question that as well. Hey, what are you doing? Where are you going? I don't know who you are underneath that, but usually people, they think, oh, it must be a woman under that, and then we'll hear about it once they're not. But we need to get back and let somebody let the dogs out, people. We need to put the dogs back in. Remember that song, Who Let the Dogs Out? We need to put the dogs back in, right? To take care of the home. Take care of the home. Look, nobody has a problem with transgenders. I don't have a problem with trans. You could be whatever you want. Just don't make me believe in it. I don't want to believe in transgenders, and I don't have to. God gave me the freedom to say no, and I do. And ain't nobody gonna tell me. No one, not a soul. All right. So we are we experimenting? Is that what's going on in this country, our country? Are we experimenting with I don't know what it is. What are we? Why are we experimenting? Are we unhappy? Is it an unhappy world? No, there's a lot more to be unhappy with, people. Trust me. You do not want to know. Okay, people go through a lot of traumas. You know, and so that's the kind of stuff that sick people, like people that have mental challenges, like myself. I have mental challenges. I have mental issues that uh, I'm not afraid to say I have them. Um, I know some of you guys are like, well, what are the mental? Tell me what the mental health issues that you're having. All right. With the injuries that I have, let's start with that. I'll give you a few. The head injuries that I have, it caused some serious issues with my thinking. Um, I had to learn how to separate, or what the separation is between emotion and actually thinking. I had to look it up because I'm having conflict with it. And when I first got back from my tour, I was I had my anxiety was so high, my blood pressure was so high, I couldn't bring it down, and I would sleep at night wherever our mission was. So our mission going from Kuwait all the way to the border of Syria, we would stop at a base to fuel up and rest and whatever we had to do. Right? Sleeping at night or sleeping during the day, whichever, if you were up all day or all night, was very unsettling, especially if you went to an obscure little hole in the wall base that was, so, they say, protected. You're the protection. You have an M4 and you're it. Sleeping was very nerve wracking. I would dream while I was there that I was getting my throat slit. Just from the sheer possibility that that's what they want to do. So, you carry that with you. There's people who don't tour, who don't spend a lot of time outside. They call it the wire, right? They don't spend a lot of time out of the wire, so they don't know. You have to have the experience. And with me, I was, before I went overseas, I was already a somewhat mature. I was very precautious, about making mistakes, doing things that would get me in trouble, or I would get in trouble, or So I when these we would learn about people bringing on bombs inside the base and putting it in toilets and the porta potties. Um, People finding bombs over here, finding them over there. These sirens going off, and we're shooting down rockets that are coming into the base. We've been told, hey, you better keep one eye open tonight because somebody was jumping over the wall. They're trying to get over here, probably to kill some soldiers, whatever. It's not the most comfortable nap you're going to take, right? We'd all sleep together, by the way, and nobody slept separate. We'd always sleep in a room, and somebody would always be up watching. So, but you know, when I had the head injuries, it manifested, and so all these issues that I had, or that would protect me, now hurt me. So I was very precautious, always very agile, sporty like, very did I say cautious? Yeah, cautious. And suspicious, always, on the outlook, looking out for what's going on. And so that now hurts me. It's turned into a problem. So, those are the things some that you don't hear about. All you hear is that people have post traumatic because of, whatever it is, that the trauma that they have, right, overseas in wartime. But we also have problems, like myself, with things that are now hurting me that used to help me before I went overseas. Emotions, some very what's the word um, um, hyper visual and all that. It hurts me now. Everything turns into anxiety. You know, I can't. It won't process. And with the head injuries, it just does that much more. It manifests it. So, and the thing with my that I found most interesting about me diagnosing myself is this diagnosis really fits the mold of what I'm talking about, because one of the first things the diagnosis talks about in my case is that it doesn't affect your intellect. Okay. So what it does is affects your motor. It affects certain parts of chemicals with your motor. It affects some of your emotions, but it doesn't affect your intellectual, uh, not cognitive, but intellectual intellect. So you know, 1+1 is 1, right? Or 1+1 is 2. So that's one of the good things I've learned, because it helps me feel better about that. You know, I'm just going to be, you know, like a Cabbage Patch Kid, right? Like your intellect goes. No, and this, in my case, it does not, but it does affect process. So, you know, memory issues, uh, emotional issues, um, and awareness. You know, so um, and that's one of the bad things. You know, I could totally flip out and start thinking a whole different way, and I wouldn't even know. I'd be like a Manchurian candidate. You know? So that's unsettling. That's unsettling. But that's what I talk. That's that's what I think about all day. All day. That's what I think about. It doesn't bother me. It's sort of like somebody has Tourette's. Just like that, they can't help it. Me in my brain, it's like that. So, so we're, yeah, like some of us, we're sick. You know, we're truly not good. And so that's why I've been fighting to get this TBI, because I'm extremely, um, extremely um, susceptible to a stroke, to a seizure, to a and those seizure strokes would be unconditional. So it wouldn't be because I have poor blood clotting stuff. It wouldn't be because I have, you know, a bad heart. It wouldn't be because, you know, I got, you know, some sort of disease like cancer or something. It's going to cause like blood clots and all that kind of stuff. So mine would be unconditional, which means it would be bad. If I'd had a stroke, it would be a severe stroke. It would kill me, especially with the TBI. The cells don't help each other anymore. They don't proliferate. So it will just get rid of it and I would be done. Stroke, same way, any of those. So you know, I'm living on the edge every single moment, and it's not a good feeling, right? It's not a good sense of self. Like myself, I don't feel good about that. It's like living with cancer. So you know, those things bother me every day, right? And they should bother you guys too. They should bother every single one of you guys. I don't have a problem with gay people. I know gay people. I think they're fine, right? As long as they don't want me to accept that I need to accept that they're gay. No, if you're gay, then be gay. What do I care? All right. Don't touch my behind, right? Don't make me think that I have to accept every single way that you are. No, if you're going to be a friend, be a friend. Don't be a gay friend. Just be a friend. And I will learn you're gay. That's my job, is to understand what's going on with you. And if you want to tell me something, then you do it sincerely, right? You're like, hey, I have, okay, I understand, right? Thanks for the warning. Man. So that's completely wrong. I was before they hacked my Facebook. I had another. I don't know if my videos are still on Facebook, but back in the day, a year ago, I was harping about COVID. I was making fun of COVID some time ago. I was the one, setting off the alarm of, this is a China thing. They're not going to be accountable for it. I was doing that way back then. You know why? Because I learned about China some time ago. You don't ever trust them, not ever. And so I knew we were going to have a problem with that. But man, did we have a problem, right? I mean, we had a problem. People went berserk. This is the thing that bothers me the most out of everything that I'm going through. Out of everything that I'm going through, this is the one thing that's bothering me the most. It keeps me up at night. Is that we have become, in our country and other countries have become also compliant with China. There's a lot of people in our country that I can go to the store and look around and I can see a handful. If there's a handful of people, 4 out of those 5 people will comply with China. If China were to, I'm going to give you a scenario, people. If China were to come into our country and take over in some manner, we had to fight. More people would comply with them, not just because they don't want to die, but they would be okay with it, complying with China. The people right next to you, yeah, they would be in compliant with China. They want to do business with China. They want China to be in charge. We don't, they want China to be aggressive on the United States because they think that we are irresponsible people as far as what do you call it, stewards of the world. You see what freedom gives you people. Freedom makes makes people think irresponsible. It does. Instead of making the best of your freedom, most of the time people think that we're harming other folks, that we shouldn't be in control, be the stewards of the earth. We are. We're the stewards of the earth, and we do it best. Okay? And so there's a lot of people that are by you when you're going to the store, when you're at the movie theater, when you're walking here, you're running there, you're driving in your vehicle, that will comply with China today. If they were to land on, in a town near you and try to take over, our country, they wouldn't mind it. They wouldn't be okay with it, but they wouldn't mind it. Not me. I'd be one to say, you can go ahead and get rid of me now, because if you don't, I'm going to take some of you guys out with me. That's what I would do. Okay, that is a completely unknown. But there's people next to you today, even your own family, that will say, I'm okay with it. They would. They right now they can say, no, I wouldn't do that. No, they would. They will be compliant with China to allow them to take over our country. They would. They'll be okay with it, right? Even if they're willing to make a deal. Yeah. Not me. Not I. I fight every step of the way. You don't tell me what to do in my country. Nope. You don't come over here and start negotiating with me. There ain't no room for negotiation. We don't negotiate. You live there, I live here. This is my home. And that's period. Do I want you here? I do not want you here. Okay? especially with the intentions you have. I don't need another country coming over here telling us that we need to listen. No, you go listen to yourselves. You know, if God intended us to be all one in one nation, He wouldn't have separated the countries, right? There's a reason why we're separate, all right? It makes for it makes for good neighbors, just like walls do and fences and all that, right? Yeah, we all be dead if we all lived on the same continent. Yeah, we had all these different you're in that corner like the reservations. If you were in that corner, China in that corner, United States in that, yeah, we all be fighting each other every single day. We'd have some major problems. That's why we're separated. Okay? You take care of your stuff, I take care of mine. If there's a steward for the earth, it's us. Do we want to share that responsibility? Yes, we do. But you have to be willing to work with that take that responsibility and work with it. Okay? It's not our choice, it's a responsibility. And China just don't want to do it. They want to do it their way because they could do it better, they say. Okay, well, we disagree. Well, then that's a responsibility we have to take and work with it. But they're not willing to do that. So all you people out there that want to be compliant with China, you can go ahead and live with them. Yeah, you can go over now. You could say, hey, if you guys came and invaded our country and we had to give up, you'd be the first ones to raise your hand. You'd be the first ones, I guess we can work with it. It can't be so bad. Not me. No. Nope. We worked too damn hard and we created a country out of nothing. Okay. We did good and bad things to earn this country. I'm a Native American, so they almost wiped us out. Do I care? I do care, but I just think that it's a responsibility now upon the Native Americans to learn how to work with it, learn how to live with it. I mean, right? Don't hate it. We have to develop with it now. It ain't going nowhere. We can't start our own government, right? Got to do what we got to do. So, yeah, China can go to where. Yep, I was complaining about that, and then the COVID. A lot of people just gave into it, especially the ones that are selfish. I learned that the majority of people, at least in my neck of the woods, are very selfish. Yeah, I've had people say, "You need to wear a mask. You're going to get us all sick and kill us." I said, "Well, then say la vie. You know, peace out." So, you know, and the businesses that wear the mask still, and they wear the mask, that's a selfish act, people. It's selfish. If we really had a disease that was killing people, we would not be behaving like that. I would have been living in a bubble because I know better. But the mask thing was a joke, and it still is a joke. Okay, it's hurting us more than it is helping us. We all know that. And it was a go along to get along situation, and there's a lot of selfish people who go along with that kind of thing. I'm not defiant. I don't agree with it. There's a difference. And since you agree with wearing the mask and you think it's the most important thing and that other people around you should wear it, that's a very selfish act. All right. There's a lot worse things that you need to be worried about. All right. Trust me, I know. So it showed a lot about who we are. And for me, I already came from overseas not trusting a lot of people. And now I don't trust just about everybody. Yeah. So we've got to get back to square one, folks. We've got to get back to ground zero. Yeah. It's the truth. Um, this alternative thinking of, let's get rid of police because we can police ourselves. I don't know where you guys went and came back. Did you guys go somewhere and come back? Did you? Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if you guys like went somewhere and came back and then you're like, there's new rules. I don't know what happened. But there's still people like me who think you're full of you know what. And you're always going to run into us. So just give it up. Stop being a fool. Okay? We're not going to get rid of police. Not ever. We're going to build it up. Okay? It's going to be the new 21st century police. That's what we need. Okay? Instead of being confused about it, let people who know what we're talking about do what they need to do. You just stay out of it, go to work, pay your taxes, and be quiet. Okay? That's what I'm trying to do. But no, you want me to accept you being a transgender and come into the girls' bathroom, boys' bathroom, and no, you ain't doing it. Now I gotta be worried about that. See, gotta zero ourselves out, people. Zero. Zero. Come back. You gotta come back. Like, hey, this is all absurd. I gotta live my life, and I ain't got time for all this mess, right? COVID-19, transgender issue, Russia, China. Why don't we just get somebody in the White House that can fix it like Trump did? It doesn't have to be Trump. It could be DeSantis. It could be your mama. I don't know. But what's working now ain't working. I don't have to hate the man. He just ain't working. So he needs to go. Take care of China. Hey, that's not. Yeah, you ain't invading our country. We got too many people who will give in and be compliant to China. So we need to take care of that situation now. Okay. So we got a lot of pussycats around here that would say it's okay if China invades us. I mean, no, it's not okay, but as long as nobody gets hurt. You guys are a bunch of fools, is what it is, and God knows it too. Right? Which is a damn shame. But you guys match the presidency right now. Yeah. Because he's a fool too. Yeah. He's a fool. Balloons flying across the country. It don't matter what it was. I don't care if it didn't have anything and it was just a balloon. Do not send anything here. They already sent COVID-19. They need to pay. China needs to pay the world's debt. If you have debt for your country, China needs to pitch in and pay some of that debt because of COVID-19. All right? That's what they need to do. If I were president, I would make it pay. Absolutely. I'd make it pay. Yep. No, it would happen. I wouldn't suggest you're going to pay. And this is what's going to happen to you if you don't. Yeah, that's what will happen. And that's what we need in the White House. That's what we need as far as a person to help our country. Right? Transgender guys, what? You dare go into another person's bathroom? I'm going to go ahead and skin you alive. All right? We're going to bring back the town hall. This is a joke, but, we're going to bring back the town hall hangings. Ain't no way you're going to go into the bathroom. No. Children. Who in the heck said it was okay for a child to decide on their own what to do for themselves? Underage child. We have a thing called underage. You know that, right? It's a real thing. Underage, which means that you're not responsible for yourself. Somebody else's. Who in the heck said it's okay for a child to decide and somebody else to decide for a child besides the people who are supposed to be in charge? Who said that was okay? I didn't say it. But somebody did. And I want to know who they are. Okay? I want to know who they are. It couldn't have just been the wind, right? Like the wind came and it said, "Hey, all you children are going to be in charge of yourselves." No, it was people. People decided that that should happen. Who are those people? I want to know because I want to punish him. That's right. What's another thing? What's another thing we got going on? The border. Don't we have a gate? We have a gate on our to block our country, right? Yeah. Now, I used to work on the border, so who? Well, we all know who decides, but why now? Why can't we shut down the border for a few moments, allow ourselves to get things in place, like more security, more programs, um, things that will help us manage people coming across the border because we're not going to be able to stop it, not ever. But we can create programs and bring old programs back, like that work program. We used to have a work program here in Arizona, at least, that people come across the border to work and they go back. Things obviously have people have learned to take advantage of that, so we need to readjust it. So close the border until we get ourselves situated, and we need to keep doing that. So it just won't close, and we're like, okay, we're done, we fixed it. No, we got to close it, open it, close it, open it, close it, open it. And when we keep doing that, we reduce. All right. That means that people can't always get one up on us because we're like, oh, you know, we have to close the border. We got to work on these issues. Right. I mean, there's always exceptions, people. I'm not talking about, not letting some people in. We got doctors. I'm talking about, professionals that are able to help our country and help other people medically and technology. Some things, we need to let those people through, and vice versa. We go there, they come here. It's got to be organized, and we can do that. Shut it down, open it up. Shut it down, restructure it, open it up. Shut it down, restructure. That's the way it needs to operate. All right, it does. That way you can shuffle people around. New programs come up, readjust programs. We can get all sorts of stuff done, man. But there needs to be a pause every single time. Okay, I don't know how often, but it does seem like that would work. All right. What else is going on? That's it, huh? Oh, I'm cool with everything. So, how about we call it a day? And I'll talk to you guys again. I got to get these dogs home. I don't even see them. Usually they're around me. Got to get these guys home, and then we'll chat again. Today's Sunday Super Bowl, I guess. I'm going to be watching Super Bowl. I haven't been watching football since they've been taking a knee. So, yeah, whatever. All right. Peace out.